Inside my bones. I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric, baby, when I turn it on. All through my city, all through my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we're in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good song in my feet. Feel that hot breath in my body when it drops. Oh, I can't take my eyes above it. Moving so phenomenally. You gon' like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we're moving, you already know. So just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Good creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. There ain't nobody leaving, so stay dancing. I am awesome, I am really like on. I am not no feel like on. I am this, I feel like on. I am very on. Awesome, I am really like on. I am not no feel like on. I am this, I feel like on. I am very on. All the things I shouldn't do. Dance, dance, dance. There ain't nobody leaving, so keep dancing. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric, baby, when I turn it on. All through my city, all through my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we're in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, that good song in my feet. Feel that hot breath in my body. Oh, I can't take my eyes off it. Moving so phenomenally. You gon' like the way we rock it, so don't stop. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. You're creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. There ain't nobody leaving, so stay dancing. I am awesome, I am really like on. I am not no feel on. I am this, I feel like on. I am very on. I am really like on. I am not no feel like on. I am this, I feel like on. I am very on. All those things I shouldn't do.
Listen, everyone, before the show gets started, I want to first let you know that you can always support the show via Cash App, Zelle, PayPal. All financial contributions are greatly appreciated, and we really do thank you so much. Now sit back and let's enjoy.
What is going on, everybody? Hope all is well with you. Listen, we are live on Facebook and all YouTube platforms. I think we're live on Twitter too. Twitter or Periscope, one of them. Anyways, we are live. Anyways, I am so happy today that we are able to do this. I am going to do these disclaimers before Sabrina comes on. If you guys can hear me, just say you can hear me, okay? I am so glad. Hold on, she just texted me. Oh, some more information. Okay, cool. She is going to be coming on momentarily, and we're going to be doing this show. I'm really happy and excited that we could do this. Okay, let me see. So listen, we're not doing this because of anything else other than we're trying to help people with their credit. Okay, so if you got bad credit, we're gonna help you out. Now, with that being said, can y'all hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Holla back if you can hear me. What is that red thing? All them chips. So talk back to me if you can hear me, y'all. Talk back to me if you can hear me. Sound check, microphone check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. So what I want to do is listen before the show gets started, and we probably have about 2 minutes. And that is, if you are interested in supporting the show, you can always give via Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, like that, right? So we can just keep this stuff going. A lot of things are going on for the show, and I'm really grateful. This is what happens when you're able to just be productive and you have content. Also, as you all know, we Gerald and I from the North Carolina beat, we are talking about this situation with this pastor who has been taking advantage of people's credit and their identity and identity fraud and all kind of stuff like that. So with that being said, what I want y'all to understand is There are ways for you to be able to take care of your responsibilities and to handle the things that you need to handle without any problems. Okay. There are reputable companies out here and that are not doing this type of stuff. It's really sad that, even in the church, folks are trying to come up, and they doing it in all type of crazy ways. But anyways, there are companies out here that are reputable and you can check them out. There are companies that have been around for quite a few years, 10, 15 years, and they really are able to help you. And also, my sister's about to come on, y'all, with her pretty self. Oh, they can't see you yet, sister. But well, there are other companies out here who's able to do this. And also, we're going to show you guys how you can do this yourself, okay? So my sister's coming on, y'all. Y'all welcome her with a hearty amen. Praise God. Hey, sister.
Hey, I love you. Love me some you. Hey, Black people and white people and Mexican people and Asians.
So I was trying to give them a rundown of everything that we had talked about and everything that I do know. And, as we're going forth, I want to also bring up a few of these websites and things so that the people can also go to and know that, these are also reputable companies out here. Ain't she pretty, y'all? Just so pretty. These companies out here, so I want to be able to show them at the same time. But I'm going to go ahead and let you have the floor at this time. So go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and let you go.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for having me on the show today. I feel like I'm home because I've been here several times. And so this is my real brother from another mother. And if you mess with him, you got to come through me, okay? Like that's how I am about him, okay? So now we got that prerequisite out the way. I want to help the people tonight. There are over 21 million people, okay? 21 million people that are unemployed and 30 million people, actually 30 million unemployed, 21 receiving unemployment money. So some of them cannot get unemployment. Unemployment is limited on funds. So you have those people that asked for unemployment back in March 22nd when the pandemic hit. Some of them, I would say over 40% of them are still waiting to receive that money. So you have people waiting to receive 10,000, 12,000, 13,000. I've spoke to several claimants, several constituents that are devastated. People having to move in with their parents, people having to consolidate, people living in hotels. So tonight we're going to bless you. How about that? Tonight, We're going to share information with you to help you increase your credit score. For those of you that need to go 300 points, then I'm going to give you ways that you can realistically do that. For those of you that need to go 100 points, 50 points, I'm going to give you some ways, some tips that you can do that. And then I'm going to share with you some companies. If you're just like, listen, that's way too much. I'm trying to get my living situation together. I just need somebody to do it for me. We have companies that are reputable, that are established, that have an A rating with the Better Business Bureau that can get it done for you. So how do you increase your credit score by 300 points? The first thing that you need to do is if you have any foreclosures, bankruptcies, student loans, what else could you have on your debt? Repossessions, evictions, even child support. There are companies that will even remove child support off your credit. There is a government law called the Fair Credit Act. And basically, this law says that there's anything derogatory on your account impeding your score, it can be challenged for the purposes of removal. So the government is working on your side to make certain that you increase your credit score. Now, let's get this straight. You can do everything that I'm telling you yourself. It's going to be tedious. It's going to take a lot of hard work, and it's going to take a great deal of discipline. So there are two ways. You can either do the grind yourself. It may take you a little over a year to do yourself, or you can hire professional companies that are reasonable. So Demario is actually going to put a link there. For $189, a company will do the whole thing for you, and it's reasonable, and it's $89 a month. How do you get those things off? If you have any foreclosures, bankruptcies, student loans, delinquencies, late payments, evictions, repossessions, those things can be removed if they're closed or they're charged off. Okay, so we'll talk about the closed and the charged off items that are on there first. That's company right there. Been in business for 15 years, is a debt releasing, removing company, and has helped millions of people remove delinquencies off of their account. There are credit attorneys associated with this company. Go to myfes.net. This is the website, myfes.net, Mckenzie 4, because it'll actually show you the plan. I think that's the login. But if you go to, I'll text it to you, bro. But if you go there, you can actually sign up with them and they'll do it for you. If you have those things that are closed and charged off, let me say. Okay, here, let me give you this link.
I'm gonna put the link in the
Good. Do you know what? Then I'll text you the whole link. So if you go here, this makes it real easy for you. In 45 days, your credit score is going to go up 30 to 50 points. Somebody say 45 days. Your credit score is going to go up 30 to 50 points. Now, we've seen credit scores actually increase by 100 points in 45 days, but we like to scale back the number so that when your credit goes up to 100 points, you know, it's something that is not expected, but it's something that's a pleasant surprise, okay? So here, let me show you how you could do this. And bro, I actually pasted it. It's pasted in your cell phone. So you can share that with the community. So if you have, I'm gonna give you some real good tips. These are some good tips. If you have anything on your account that's charged off, what does charged off mean? It means that you had a delinquent payment and maybe you missed the payment, or maybe they repossessed the car, or maybe you were evicted, or maybe your house was foreclosed. Those are all considered charged off because those are items that you don't currently have, and those are items that the company is no longer going to negotiate with you. Those are items that they consider that debt, that you owe the whole debt, and they put a certain amount associated with that debt, and they attach that debt to your credit report, okay? So for those charged off events, while you have someone working on your credit report, you don't want to pay those items. Okay, I'm gonna help y'all out because this is gonna be so good. I'm gonna help y'all out right now. You don't want to pay any of those delinquencies. Why? Because the company is going to seek to remove them. So when you start to negotiate with creditors about making payments or small payments on a charged off debt, it then turns around and makes the company report that debt again. So any charged off items, you want to make certain that you don't report them while the company is working on your credit report. Now, another thing that you can do to increase your credit score by 100 to 300 points is for the reoccurring debt. What does reoccurring mean? I know I'm using financial terminologies. So reoccurring debt are those items that you have that you consistently use, okay? Those items, I'm gonna give you another site as well. We're gonna share information. Tonight is gonna be good. Tonight is really gonna bless you and change the trajectory of your future, because in our community, in the African American community, there are too many of us that are not financially educated or financially aware. And I'm gonna give you an example of that. Do you know when Aretha Franklin died, that her home, her estate was worth millions of dollars? And when Aretha Franklin died, her estate was given to the state for her family to have to fight for her estate because she did not have a living will or trust. Prince, the artist that we know, Purple Rain. Oh, y'all know, I know y'all don't know that in the church. Y'all don't remember that. Y'all remember Purple Rain. So Prince, who was also another millionaire, did not have a living will or trust. And as a result, his executive estate went to the state. I'm saying this to us because our people perish from a lack of knowledge. Tonight, get your notepad, get your pen, because the information that I'm going to share with you is impeccable for you to get your credit score increased. Now, Demario, I actually sent you a link that actually breaks down the debt monitoring, the credit locking, the credit reporting, and the budgeting. Okay, that last link, it actually goes through in depth all of those things. That's actually a payment link. If you want the company to do your services for $189, they will do everything for you. But the last link that I sent you is actually a website that goes over credit monitoring, credit debt, lockbox, and those items so that you would understand. So just look in that the last text. So here's another item. Here's another tip and nugget to help you increase your credit score by 100 to 300 points. And Demario, I want to share this with my constituents as well. Do you mind? How do I guess I can just go to your website and share from there.
Which one? Yeah, in the comments section.
Where am I going to share it?
If you put it in the comments, the link in the comments, they'll be able to get it also.
Okay, I can share the link in the comments. No, but I want to share it with my page so that the constituents on my page will actually get this information and see the show. I think I have it. I'm going to share the video from your page. Yep, okay. I got it. I just shared it. Okay, and I'm going to put this link in the comments for all of you so that you can get the website. Tonight, we're giving out information, free information. On my page will actually get this information. There we go. And see the show. There we go. So free information that's going to change the trajectory of your future. Another way that you can increase your credit score 100 to 300 points is by paying your recurring bills on time. Okay. So for example, if you have companies that are working, there you go. Yes, 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 yes. So that basically gives you lockbox. It has will and trust information. It has credit attorneys that will stop the harassing debt collectors. If you are going through a bankruptcy, if the credit attorneys will help you with that. It has a protection plan that it helps you to protect your identity against identity theft. So all of those things are included for a package of only $189. Now, I was mentioning to you regarding paying your reoccurring bills on time. Reoccurring bills are like your mortgage, your rent, your car payment, your credit card payments, anything you have that you are paying currently, you want to continue to pay that on time. Why? Because when you're working with a credit restoration company, if you are, say they remove all of those items and then October falls around and you pay your mortgage late, guess what? Your mortgage is going to show up on your credit report. The way the credit reporting system works is that at the beginning of the month, those companies that you have debts with, those companies report every month at the beginning of the month. And so you want to be certain to pay your bills on time, because as soon as those companies report, it affects your credit, it impedes your credit score in a negative way. What does that mean? Your FICO score goes down. I spoke to a young lady last week that her FICO score was 0. Some people's FICO score is 300, 400, 500. Those are all low. 600. Okay, now you're getting in the area that is fair credit, but you need at minimum of 640 to be able to purchase a home in the United States. Okay, most SBA loans, most government loans. Let me say this about the SBA, because if you're getting a small business as a small business association, they gave out grants during the pandemic for up to $150,000. Do y'all hear me? So for those of you that have a small business and your business was impacted by the pandemic, that means you couldn't go to work like everybody else. You had to lay off your employees. The Small Business Administration is giving out grants up to $150,000. Those grants have a low interest rate, like 5 or 6%. Okay, so that interest rate is very reasonable for you to basically get back on your feet. But you need a 550 in order to qualify for the SBA loan. There's no negotiating. There's no getting around it. There's no, I have this medical bill. I have this bankruptcy. My mama did it. My wife did it. There's no getting around it. Okay. Your credit is your character in the earth. I'm going to say that again. Your credit is your character.
It's your good name
In the earth. It tells lenders if you can be trusted. Oh my God. It tells those lenders if you can be trusted, if they're going to give you the loan or if they're going to escort you off the lot. If they're going to give you the loan or if they're going to give you a hard inquiry and tell you better luck next time. So it's imperative. Listen, you can't do anything in America without credit. You can't rent a car. Some of your jobs are requiring credit scores.
Sabrina.
Your houses, your cell phones now are requiring credit scores. And honestly, they are actually putting Comcast bills on your credit report. Did y'all know that? Have y'all checked your credit? They're putting your cell phone bills on your credit report. So anything that you have contractually, including child support, somebody type child support. Because now they're going after the brothers. I've had brothers, oh baby. Child support. If you're not paying your child support, it's going to show up on your credit. And it might already be on your credit. You just don't know it yet. Okay? So child support is another item. Tax liens, those are all basically noted on your credit report, and you cannot get the house and you cannot get the car when you have those negative delinquencies because they impact your score. So now this is what you can do as it relates to the reoccurring bills. If you pay those in time while you have a company remove your debt, and I put the company link there. If you pay those bills on time, your credit score will go up in 45 days, 30 to 50 points. Okay? 30 to 50 points. In 6 months to a year, your credit score will be in a position that you can, one, get the SBA loan for 550. Now, there's another loan that is a government loan. Well, actually, this loan is by a bank lender.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Okay, so let's because you're on the roll right now. You're just on a roll. Okay, so question for the people, and I'm trying to just go back over everything. Can you go over, just for this one question, how to increase your credit score by 300 points? Let's hit that one first, because we rolling. How can the people increase their credit? I mean, do I need to bring up a link or something? How can they?
Let me share with you. Okay, awesome. Yes, let me answer that for you. Thank you for that question. There are a few things that you can do to increase credit score by 300 points. The first one is your credit is impacted by the derogatory items on your account. So those items have to be removed. You have to remove those items. What are those items? Foreclosures, bankruptcies, student loans, medical bills, evictions, repossessions, child support, and tax liens. All of those items need to be removed. When you remove those items, simultaneously, your credit score goes up, okay? That's number one. Now, you're like, well, how do I get those items removed? You can get them removed two ways. You can write a letter to the credit bureau. Now, you have 3 bureaus. You have TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. You have to write, they're not related. Let me say this myth too. The credit bureaus are not sanctioned by the government, meaning they're not government entities. They're private entities. They're regulated by the government, but the government does not own the credit bureaus. They're 3 separate entities. You operate with each of them. You have to send to each of them your ID, your social security card, your license, and a letter regarding the delinquency. Okay, so let me break it down even more plain. If you have a repossession on your credit report, you have to send a letter to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax saying, listen, that repossession was not mine. That car didn't charge off. Whatever the case is, you have to let them know. You have to state your claim. When you state your claim, you submit your ID with it. The company, the creditor, has 45 days, 30 to 45 days to respond back to you by government law. Remember, the Fair Credit Act says that you have the right to dispute anything on your credit report for the purposes of removal. Once they respond back to you, either they're going to remove it or they are going to keep it there. If they remove it, your credit score is going to go up immediately. Now, you might be saying, how do I do the letters? I don't know the verbiage. I don't know the language. This company right here that's up on your screen, Financial Education Services, they've been doing this for 15 years. They've removed over 1 million delinquencies. So you're saying, how can I get to 300 points? They will help you remove the foreclosure, the student loan, the medical bills, the tax lien, the child support. They can help you remove it. Once you pay $189 to them and activate your account, their credit attorneys and their credit agents will begin to work on your account. In 45 days, you get the first 50 points. The next month, they will do the same thing. They're going to send you a letter saying these are all the items that have been reported against your Social Security number. Okay, they're going to say this is the Comcast bill. This is the tax lien. This is the repossession. When they submit that to you, they're going to give you the language, the verbiage, and the letter for you to send that back to the 3 bureaus. When you send that to the 3 bureaus and they remove it, your credit score is going to go up again. Now, I want to say this last thing, and I'm going to answer the next question. There are trade lines that you use to increase.
One second.
Okay.
One second. This one, I wanted to say this because a lot of people don't really understand that, yes, they can do this themselves, but if you don't know how to do this, hey, Aaron, if you don't know how to do this, there are companies that can do this for you. And this is what we're trying to tell you tonight. If you know how to do this, because me and Aaron had talked about this too a while ago. If you don't know how to do this, there are companies out here that can help you. Reputable companies, like legit reputable companies, not people trying to be scamming and all this. This ain't Joanne the scammer.
Right.
There are reputable companies out here that can do this. I was bringing up this one. This is the one that you sent me. And also, I was online searching as well. And there is another company I looked up, and I wanted to show this one because it spells out everything too. This one here. It just kind of breaks it down as well. How to talk to the credit bureau, exactly what you're saying. It just kind of gives some bullet points there. You know, just for the folks, this is basically the book of dummies, you know, how you can, you know, do this stuff real quick.
Yes. 1099.
Right. So then it just gives you bullet points, info to gather before you call, credit bureau contact information. And right here, it gives you all the general inquiries, gives you all the numbers, fraud alert. Again, you all, just like what Sabrina is talking about, I brought another website up that spells it out even more for you, because a lot of people are out here, and Sabrina and I were talking about this before. A lot of people are out here doing this, and they're not giving you this information. She's giving you all this information on these websites, okay? On these websites that you all can go, and you can either have someone do them that is a reputable company, or you can either do this yourself. Now, again, she said 45 days. I would say 6 months to a year to see a lot of stuff starting to fall off. And here's just ways you can credit dispute, credit freeze, fraud alert. Here's TransUnion phone numbers. Same thing. And then they have the time and the date. Some of these folks out here who is in trouble now ain't got the time and the date or the phone numbers, anything. Okay. Here's Experian.
Yeah, they don't. You know what? And let me say that I want to share that, Demario. That's a really good, valid point, because when you go to people that say, I do this, and they're sitting in their house and this is what they do, you have to be very leery. If you're going to use a company, I would say do your homework. Make certain that they are a corporation that is sanctioned. Make certain that they are with the Better Business Bureau. The company that I'm speaking with is the only company that has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. But you don't want it. This is your life. This is your social security number, your birthday, everything about you. So you want to be certain that you're giving it to the appropriate person. If you inbox me your telephone number, I'll share the list with you, and I'll walk you through those steps to get you in the right direction. Everybody's credit report is different. Somebody has a 0, somebody has a 400, somebody has a 5, a 6, and a 7. So what is required for each of you are going to be different measurements. I'm giving you a blanket rule of thumb for anything that you can do to increase your score. But if you inbox me your cell phone numbers, then I will call you and walk you through those items. Now, there are trade lines. I'm going to give you one that is so good. It's called a primary account. And this right here, y'all, is a blessing from God. It's called Credit. You can take this Credit My Rent service. They will add your rent. If you live in an apartment, you can add your apartment on your credit report like a mortgage, and it takes your credit score up 100 points. Did y'all hear what I said? They will add, listen, they will give you good history. You're like, okay, but in December, I paid my bill late. They're going to give you 1 to 2 years of good credit history. It looks on your account. It serves as a primary account. What does that mean? You have some things that are secondary, and then you have some things that are primary. Credit My Rent is a primary account. So when lenders like bank institutions are looking at your account because you want to get the car, because you want to get the house, they're going to weigh those primary accounts heavy, because those primary accounts are more weighty than your secondary accounts. Okay, so Credit My Rent is something amazing. Another thing about Credit My Rent, you don't have to have the apartment in your name. You can live with your mama and be paying your mother $5 a month. You can live with your auntie or your uncle. So if you have something that you're living there, and we can call and fact check, and they say, yes, this person is living here, we can backdate your credit history, which will increase your score by 100 points. Can anybody use 100 points on tonight? Okay. You ready for it? Look, King Giles, I got you. There are also other credit trade lines. Okay. One, and I don't get anything from my Jewelers Club, but I'm telling you, I've worked with people that needed to add trade lines to their account to increase their credit score. And it's one of the most reputable companies. It's called My Jewelers Club. Okay. So the way those trade lines work, you have a question, babe?
I said, let me bring it up right now.
Oh, good. Awesome. So while he's bringing it up, the way the trade lines work is you would pay that company $100 for membership. And with the membership, it basically gets you into the club. Then they give you a catalog. You can order anything on the catalog from like $5 to $100. They take half of the money up front, and then they charge you for the same item, the balance. Okay, so each month that you're paying like $5, but what is that doing? That's increasing your credit score 25, 50 points. Why? Because it's telling the credit agencies that you are reputable, that you have a history of good payments. So it's counting on your credit history as positive equity, okay? And that makes it look good. That takes your credit score up. So depending on how many secured cards, trade lines, how many items that are derogatory are removed, all of those things are helping you with your debt to income ratio. Okay, so a lot of times when you go get a house or you go get a car, they're going to say, what is your debt to income ratio? I'm going to give you a perfect example of what that means. Some of you may make the money, but you got a 400 or 500 credit score. And on your credit report is that ugly student loan, death to Sally Mae on tonight, death to Sally Mae. You got Sally Mae on your credit report. Although you make $100,000 a year. You make $70,000. Say you make $50,000 a year, but they're going to look at the $50,000 that you make, and then they're also going to take into consideration that you owe $100,000 on your student loan, and that is going to be compared your debt to income ratio, because Sally Mae is considered a debt. So your student loan is a debt. Your repossession is a debt. Your Comcast bill that you didn't pay in 1991 is still on your report. It's a debt. And they're going to add all of those things up. And although you make $100,000, they're going to say, well, you owe $150,000 in debt. You don't qualify for this house. You don't qualify for this car. So it's very important that you hit me up in my inbox so we can get you with companies that will help you remove those derogatory items so that you can increase your credit score by 300 points, by 100 points, by 200 points. Okay?
Okay, so the next one is did you talk about the New Coast Direct? Sabrina?
The next one is, yes, say it again.
Did you talk about the newcoastdirect.com? With the $5,000 credit line?
There's several. I wish you could open it up, but let me give you a list of names of trade lines, because New Coast is another. In fact, I use New Coast myself. I've used my Jewelers Club. I use New Coast. I wanted to do Credit My Rent, but let me say this to you. If you have a deed in your name, so for those of you that own houses or own properties, you cannot do Credit My Rent. It's only for people that live in apartments, and the goal is to get people into houses, okay? So you can't do it if you have a deed. But my Jewelers Club, you can do. New Coast Company, they give you a 5,000 credit limit, okay? Now, why is this important? Because some of you have credit debt and you don't qualify for a credit card. You know, you went there and you asked for a credit card and they denied you. Well, you won't be denied from these companies. These companies help you to repair your credit. So New Coast gives you a 5,000 credit limit. It's a $99. Most of them have a $99 activation fee, 99 to 100. You go on there and you buy something for a minimum of $100 when you're starting. Now, because I've been on these programs for a couple of years, I could go buy something for $10 and it will hit my credit report the next month. Once you buy something, they take a small increment, 25, 10. And what they're doing is building credit history, establishing credit. Can I say this, Demario? Having no credit is like having bad credit. Having no credit. So you have some kids that just get out of college and they're like, I don't have anything yet. So if you go in, they won't give you the house, they won't give you the car, because you have not proven that you have credit. These companies, My Jewelers Club, New Coast, they help you establish credit. When you get secured credit cards, that's what these are, secured credit cards. It's helping you to establish your credit so it looks like you have good lines of credit report. Thank you for that question.
Now, someone asked a question in the comments. They said, what is a FICO score versus a credit score?
Your FICO score and your credit score are sometimes synonymous. And depending on what program you're using when you're looking at it, a lot of our claimants use Credit Karma as a way to determine what their score is. So usually when you use, and oh my God, I need to share this with you. Everybody by law is allowed to have one free credit report pulled every year, okay? But there are companies like Credit Karma and other companies, Experian has one as well, that will pull your FICO score. for you. And Experian actually does all three bureaus. You can check your Equifax, Fico score, your Experian, and your TransUnion. So those scores that immediately pull up, you'll see on your report, it says Fico. People use them interchangeably, but reputable companies like Experian charges a very small fee, monthly fee, for you to be able to look at your credit report at all times. However, the company that I'm telling you about, FES, they allow you to pull your credit report without it hitting your credit company, or without it hitting your report as a hard inquiry. Do you guys know what inquiries are? That means every time you go somewhere and you say, I want to buy this car, they put it on your report as an inquiry. I want to buy this car. I want to buy this gold watch. I want to buy whatever you're going to run your credit for, it goes on your report as a hard inquiry, okay? And so you want to use reputable companies like FES that allow you to look at your credit report at all times. And they also allow you, if something hits your report, they'll send you an alert. They'll send you an alert. So it prevents identity theft, because you'll know at all times, I can pull up my credit score right now and it's not going to serve as a hard inquiry. So you want to use those companies. Again, if you inbox me your telephone number, I'll give you the names of those companies. And I know many of you are trying to figure out what trade lines to use and how to get Credit My Rent. So inbox me your telephone number so that I can send you the links for all of those companies, okay? Because those companies are not all in one bundle. Those are companies that I'm going to share with you so that you can increase your credit score by 300 points.
Okay, question now. Jalen asked a question. He said, can good credit help you for college? I mean, I got in college without credit, so.
Well, I'm going to tell you how. Because if you are defaulted in your student loan, they won't let you get a loan to go to college.
No, before.
And a lot of people are trying.
Before you go to college.
Right. That's what, before you go to college. Like if you're trying to get a loan and you have to qualify for the loan, some FAFSA loans, I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of parents get rejected because their credit score is not good and they can't be a co-signer on their children's credit. Then there's some kids, because their parents don't qualify, they go and they sign those promissory notes themselves and they sign the loans. So it depends on where you are. If you're trying to get your parents to co-sign, you have to have good credit. For some of you, you've never had credit, then when you're getting into college, they'll let you go into the office, sign a promissory note, sign a FAFSA, sign a Pell Grant, and get a small loan because you're starting and you have no credit history. But be very clear that when that is over, you have that loan that you have to pay back. And if you don't within that 6 months and they go into default, when you go back for a secondary degree, a master's or a doctorate, then if it's defaulted, they will deny you from getting a loan. So if you're in the very infancy stage, like if you're a freshman, you can go in and you can sign all your loans yourself. But if your parents are doing it as co-signers, they got to have good credit.
Now, question. Now, I remember this when I was in college. I did everything myself. I mean, I was in community college here in Florida, and then I left and went to Minnesota, and I enrolled in Minneapolis Community Technical College. And then after that, I went ahead and went to Metro State University. And so I did everything myself. And so as long as I was in college, they allowed me to continue to go, and everything built up. Also with knowing your credit score and college loans and things and stuff like that, it's good. Whatever you're going to do while you're in college, get it done. It's good to have a plan while you're in college. Now, I'm talking from a person that went to college. When you are in college, I know when you first go, you just, I don't know what to do. I want to do this. I want to do that. And you keep changing your majors. Sometimes it's best to just really think, what do you want to do while you're in school and what do you want to do afterwards. What is going to be beneficial to you? What are you good at? What's your trade? What's your experience? Or what do you want to do? What do you want to be experienced in? Because when I went to college, I changed my majors like 3 times. I wanted to be a lawyer. Well, I'm sorry, I take it back. I wanted to be a architect. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a psychologist. And after that, I went to graphic design and video media production. That was my last degree. And I was like, whoo, because I mean, that stuff was crazy. Like being a lawyer, you had books. Being a psychology major, you got books. What was the other? Architect, that was something easy. That's pretty much like graphic design. And so I know what I was good and creative at. And I wanted to be a psychology major because, at that particular time, I'm in a church. I wanted to have DR in front of my name. I wanted to be important, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to really understand church people. So I was in school and I was walking down the hall and I was like, this is really not what I want to do. And so, I mean, to get real deep real quick, I prayed. I was like, Lord, what I want to do? I'm like, I don't know. And I was already doing designs and stuff. And so I said, I'm going to go with that. And so it's been working and paying off for me. So I'm good.
That's awesome. I want to piggyback on what you said. You said a few things that were really profound. So the one aspect I'm going to talk about the financial aspect of college, the difference between going to a private institution versus going to a community college. So the financial aspect. Private institutions like your HBCUs. I went to 3 HBCUs: graduate, undergraduate, graduate, and postgraduate. Okay, and they're expensive. They're almost $100,000 a year now. Okay, so you want to think of that when you're going to college. Those community college, you may not have the Greek experience, you may not have the Black cultural experience, but you need to think about your financial future. Which one is really going to be in the best interest of your financial future? Are you going to pay $100,000 a year, or are you going to pay $20,000 for a community college per year? That's really important to know. For those of you that are entering into college, or you have children that are entering into college, use those first 2 years to decide what you want to do. When you don't have to declare a major. Some people know right away. I knew since I was in first grade, I was going to be an attorney. That was just my thing. Everybody knew it. I knew it. But you don't have to make your declaration as a freshman or sophomore. Most times you're taking basic classes. You're taking elementary classes. You're taking classes that are foundational in principles. You're taking your algebra, your geometry. You're taking classes about the community. You're taking interest classes to help you develop what you want to go in, or the direction. Last but not least, as you're thinking about these college careers, we are right now in a global pandemic, okay, which has almost allowed the market to collapse and to crash. You gotta, like Jives said, begin to think long term. Is the career choice that I'm selecting going to be around 10 years from now? What does this career choice look like? I know that you like to do this, but there are certain jobs that we had before the pandemic that they're obsolete now that we are in a pandemic. And so you want to think long term, one, and then two, you want to have multiple streams of income. We don't live in the generation that our parents lived in, that you're gonna retire from a company and get a gold watch. There's nobody on no job for 40 years no more. It don't work like that, baby. So you're going to have multiple streams of income. So when that door closes, you like, oh, baby, I got 3 more streams from where that comes from. Beginning, no matter what area you choose in college, begin to think entrepreneurial as well, so that you can really hone in your gifts and your skills, because trades and jobs are just not the answer going into this next dispensation. So that's just some food for thought. Financially, consider if it's worth paying $100,000 for that degree you're about to get. And then academically, consider if that job is going to be around 15 years from now.
Did you get my question?
No, what is your question?
Okay, so somebody was asking, and I'm gonna go to some other questions too. After 7 years, because that's what I was told too, just like parking tickets and everything. After 7 years, is this stuff supposed to fall off?
I'm so glad you said that, because I deal with people that have Chapter 13s and bankruptcies, and they swear by God that, I don't know who made up that law, but they swear by God. I'm 1 year. They say I'm 1 year gonna fall off. No, it don't work like that. Let me tell you, there are millions of people, okay, that have credit and have credit reports. Nobody is monitoring your credit report like, oh, Jives, you've been good. In 7 years, we're gonna remove it. There are people that still have those bankruptcies. They are out of the bankruptcy for 7 years, and it's 10 years, and it's still showing up on their credit report, and they have no earthly idea of what to do. Let me tell you something. You can be 1 year into your bankruptcy. 1 year, and it can be, oh my God, do y'all know that? Let me free the people on tonight. You can be 1 year into your bankruptcy, and it can be removed off of your credit report next month. So although there is by law a jurisdiction of time that permits you to have it on your account, it's not slated that it has to be, it's not mandated, okay? It's not a mandate. You can be a year into it and it can be removed. Also, after 7 years, you still have to go and call the credit bureaus to say, I filled my debt to society. I paid the 7-year indenture servant. Please get me out of this prison. Or you can get with the company that will do it for you and remove it anyway. If you want the names of those companies, inbox me your telephone number, and I will help you get that bankruptcy and those items, those derogatory items, removed off your account. I'm glad that you asked that, though, because that's the greatest myth, that people feel like they are in bondage for a period of time. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Just got my cup. Oh shit. So here's the other thing. I'm trying to go through here and pull up some stuff. One question is, we already went over how because we've been talking and covering a lot of things already. So how can I, what negative impacts your credit scores the most? Did we cover that? How long does it take to increase your credit scores? And we said that was like 6 months to a year, right?
6 months to a year. So 45 days, your credit score goes up 30 to 50 points. Realistically, a lot of people see 70 to 100 points. But we like to scale back. So if you have the minimum, when you get to 100, you're like, oh my God, Jesus just came into the room, right? Your credit score goes up 100 points, baby. That's money in the earth. Listen, let me say this while we're even on this conversation. Do you know, let me tell you how your credit score impacts your monthly bills. The same car that you have, depending on what your credit score is when you go get it, you could pay $750 for a car that with good credit will cost you only $200. And the difference is your credit score. $500 more. So you know how they say the rich get richer and the poor get poorer? It's true, because if you have an 800 or a 720 Jives, you go into a dealership, they're going to say no money down. They're going to give you the car and they're going to say 2.5 interest rate. You go into that dealership with a 500 credit score. They're going to say 30% interest rate. We want you to pay this money. If you have a repossession, they're going to say, we want you to pay $6,000. Well, hell, the car only costs $15,000. All of that is predicated on your credit report. A car that should only cost you $200. Now you already didn't have money. You already have these items on your report. And now because you got to get a car, because you got to go to work, because you got to have kids, because you got to go to church, you got to go to the supermarket, you don't have a choice. You're going to get this car for 30% interest rate, and now you can't afford it. So now they're coming to take it again. Listen, people, you don't have to live like that. You don't inbox me tonight. Let's get these items removed. Let's go and pay the $200 that you can afford, not the $700 that you can't afford. So that's how credit negatively impacts your life. And then the other thing is that I'm going to tell you this testimony about a girl that's on our program. She's actually an agent as well, but she's on our program. She was evicted out of a house. She was trying to lease the house, and they put her out the house because she didn't pay her bills on time, right? When they put her out the house, she couldn't get into another house because her credit was shot. Now she has this eviction on her report, and she already couldn't afford it. That's why she was late on her payments. She got on our program. In 8 months. She was able to get the eviction of her account. And in a year, she purchased a brand new home that was bigger than the house she was leasing. So I'm trying to tell you, it's not about the size of the house or the price of the item as much as it is about your credit score. Your credit score is shot. They're going to keep you in urban communities. They're going to keep you in areas that are not conducive to education. They're going to keep you in bondage. And then they're going to upcharge you on your deposit. But if you have a great credit score, do you know sometimes they won't even check your financial history? You can go in and walk out no money down. And there are programs right now. I'm working with the bank, and the bank is paying 100% on their loan. They're giving up to $250,000 on loans. Here you go. Here goes the secret sauce, Jives. You ready for the secret sauce?
What's that?
They're giving $250,000, 0% down. Like, you don't have no cash down. But are you ready for the secret sauce to get into this house? Any house of your choice in Florida, in Georgia, in Alabama, in Tennessee. 100% loan from a bank. No money down. Are y'all ready for the secret sauce? You have to have a 640 on your credit report. So this is what the bank processor told me, Sabrina, we're trying to give this money to people. We realize it's a pandemic. We realize they may not be able to have the cash. We want to give this loan away, but the people cannot qualify because they don't have a 640 on their credit report. You guys, get the help that you need. You know, the Bible says that our people perish from a lack of knowledge. Okay, our community is dying. If you look on Facebook right now, I bet you're going to see somebody with a GoFundMe because they could not afford to bury that person. It does not have to be that way. I'm sharing free knowledge with you. Write this down. Get the help that you need so that you can leave something to your children. The Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance not just to his children, but to his children's children. That means that you have to think beyond what you're wearing on today. If you can get fly to go to church and have on all of that you got on, surely you can pay $189 to get your credit fixed. And I'm going to drop the mic on that. Because we swear we don't have the money, but we can go out and buy Jordans. We could go out and buy, iPhones. We could go out and buy, listen, these wigs cost more than that. Get your house in order. Get your credit fixed so that you can move your children into an area that they don't have to go through gang-infested communities to get home. Okay, I'm done fussing. Go ahead, Jives.
So a lot of people are asking questions in the comments and everything. I know Jalen was asking about what are some good Black colleges that are good financially. I think, honestly, it really all depends because every college is different. So I always wanted to always go to a HBCU, but I never got the opportunity because I was so busy in church and I was too busy trying to finish up the degree that I was in. And, the only HBCU that was even close to Minnesota was, I think, was it in Wisconsin? I don't know. It was somewhere around there. or I think Chicago, Brown or something like that. But I didn't want to go there. I actually wanted to go to Morehouse or Howard. But I do feel like with everything, it's good to plan. Like, you know, if you're in high school, and Sabrina, that's the difference. You know, we don't have that anymore. Like, they actually sat down with us, talked to us about like what we're doing now, and they helped you. They talked about college. They talked about getting an education. They don't do those things no more, and it's really sad because, like you said, the Bible
I want to share something with you guys.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. You was getting it. I'm with you. I'm right there listening.
So, you know, the Bible says, like you said, the people perish for the lack of knowledge. It's pretty much like now people are having to do scavenger hunts just to find out this free information that we're giving. And then in doing scavenger hunts, then there are people that are being taken advantage of by silly people that just want to make money. You know, like when you can easily go online and, like we said, there's freecreditkarma.com, freecreditkarma.com. You have these other sites out here that you, like you said, you could pay $189 and you just put your information in and they send you letters. They give you the information that you could do, you know, easy, and you can be able to get this stuff done. And then there are other sites where you have to look and do the legwork yourself. So, I mean, it's a lot of stuff out there, but, you know, like a lot of the kids, I know, like when we were coming up, you know, a lot of kids my age probably had light bills, water bills, cable bills, internet, all kind of stuff in their name. And they was 2 years old. Y'all remember Finger Hut? Y'all remember Finger Hut? Baby, folks was ordering Finger Hut. They was ordering, Sabrina, what was that stuff we used to get? Used to order CDs and DVDs online. That stuff is on your credit now. And it's like, you know, we do silly stuff.
The ghetto.
Yes, the ghetto. Baby, we used to be ordering CDs. I did. I used to order CDs.
No, wait. I remember one day I went to visit my sister in Red Lobster, right? I'm from New York, so I was living in New York, and I went to visit my sister, and they was calling her Sabrina, and I was like, "Your name is Debbie. Why are they calling you Sabrina?" She was using my social security number. The ghetto, and she didn't even tell me. So yes, that listen, we Black people, we don't have, listen, let me tell you something. And I if you're white, close your ears for 1 second. There's not discrimination, right? But close your ears for 1 second, because I just want to talk to my community. Because you guys got certain privileges that you grow up with that in our houses we're not taught, okay? And when you understand these techniques, these skill set, it's not rocket science, but it's the difference between you living in an urban community and having a poor life or you living good. It's not that they don't have foreclosures. It's not that they don't have bankrupt. Hell, Donald Trump done went bankrupt how many times? He done filed foreclosure. He won't even show you his tax, and he the president of the United States.
Wait, Sabrina, wait a minute.
So it's not that they don't do it. It's understanding how the system works and working the system to your advantage, okay? So what we're giving you tonight, I'm trying to help you so you don't have to put your Pookie on your social. You don't have to get an apartment in Pookie's name. We can erase everything on your credit report so you can use your name, because it's not fair for your son to get 18 and now he can't even get nothing because you got an eviction on his credit report. He's already disadvantaged before he even gets college. We gotta do better. Okay? So I want to help you. Listen, DM me your telephone number. No, this is my community, my people. I'm gonna give you everything we know. Now, for those of you in college, I want to say this because I helped Kadar do this. This is for college. We didn't have the money to send him to Tuskegee. So let me tell you what we did. I drove to Tuskegee and I said to them, put him in ROTC. because I heard if you're on ROTC, you get to go to college for free. Listen to me, mothers. Listen to me, kids that wanted a free scholarship and your scholarship is not academic. You better go ahead and join ROTC, because ROTC will give you a free ride. When he graduated college, he graduated a lieutenant in the Army and also with an academic 4-year college degree with no college debt. We are in an information day. You cannot use the excuse no more that you did not know when technology is given to us at the drop of a dime. So if you desire to go to college, my recommendation for you would be, when you're selecting the college of choice, would be to think about what your desire is. If I want to go to law school, then I'm going to go to a college that's good in political science. If I want to go into nursing, or if I want to be a doctor, then I'm going to go to a college that specializes in medicine. You said you wanted to be a psychologist. There are colleges that specialize in psychology. So think about what you want to do and choose your college based on the area of discipline who will take you and cultivate your gifting in that area. If you don't know, community college, there's nothing wrong with community college. In fact, some of the resources in community college are better than the resources in the HBCU. Okay, drop the mic. I'm trying to tell you, because the HBCUs are closing. They're closing because alumni, you're not paying back into the HBCU. I can name 20 Black colleges that are closed on site. In fact, the college that I graduated from, we can't even go get our degrees now if we need to go pick up the degree because it's closed. So HBCU, consider when you're going to, yes, graduate and undergraduate. Easy. And I'm referring to right now Morris Brown College, closed. Morris Brown just opened. They got their accreditation is not all the way back, but they're in line for and meet 80 students. That's closed compared to when we went to school and there were thousands of people there. Many of our Black institutions are closed now because they cannot financially keep up. So if you're thinking a community college or Black college, I'm not telling you not to go to the HBCU, because I would not be Sabrina. I would not be, Afrocentric. I would not be Fight the Power. I would not be a community activist had I not understood my roots in the HBCU. However, if you got to choose between $100,000 and $20,000, and your resources in the community college are going to be far greater, that's something that you really need to pray about and consider. Okay, so enough of my college instruction, but it's so true. Listen, my daughter, when she was considering college, I wanted her to go to Spelman. She had a free ride to Spelman. Actually, it was a small scholarship, but a free ride to Georgia State. She went to Georgia State. She graduated magna cum laude. Free ride. She has no loans. I'm trying to say, we're going to do it smarter. We're going to do it like our predecessors, and we're going to do it like our Caucasian brothers and sisters. That's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about financial awareness, financial education, and financial literacy so that we can make moves. As a people, as a community, we cannot go greater than our money. He who owns the gold makes the rules. If you are in financial bondage and you can't move because your credit score is 500, then when we want to buy the block, then when we want to buy the college, then when we want to buy the church building, because now y'all owe all this debt. Some of y'all about to lose the building. Some of y'all, when we come out of this pandemic, you're not going back into that building. Why? Because you can't afford it. Why? Because all those people are gone. Now, and you don't even have the money to pay for the building in cash. You don't even have the credit. Oh my God. Help me, Holy Ghost. Where's the music?
So I'm trying to get my knees together.
Credit to buy the building, and you don't have the money to pay for it cash. I'm talking to you, Pastor, tonight. DM me, because we're going to help you save your church. If you are in foreclosure right now, DM me. If you're in bankruptcy, DM me. If you're considering establishing credit so that you can have wealth, Listen, credit, what is it? Cash is king, but credit is power. Oh my God. Oh my God. Cash is king, but credit is power. I learned something. I'm going to tell you, back in the day, I was a liturgical dancer. I'm a liturgical dancer today. But I was on a private with Tyler Perry. He was flying me from Texas to Atlanta, right? We had to do an engagement in Texas, and we had to do an engagement in Atlanta. And I was on a private jet with him. And God kept sitting me in the community of wealthy people. I was with Bishop Long. I was with Tyler Perry. I was with all these wealthy people. And I was like, God, why are you sitting me with them? But this is what I learned from them. Wealthy people spend other people's money. Wealthy people spend credit other people's money, and then guess what they do? They flip it and make more money. You have to get yourself into a position that your money is making money. That's called residual income. Your money gotta be making money when you sleep. 2% of the billionaires in America are billionaires because their money makes money when they sleep. They're spending your money while you're working for money. Let me say this to you, Demario. Let me say this to you, to all of your fans and friends. Your supervisor and your boss is never going to pay you enough to live next to him. Your job is never going to pay you enough to live next door to him. Your 9 to 5 is never going to pay you enough to pay off your kids' college tuition. We're going to have to, as a community, get out of debt so we can begin to have multiple streams of income so that we can finance not only the kingdom, but finance education. We can finance our churches. We can finance the things, our homes. Now I'm going to ask you a question, Demario. Do you remember back in the day, our grandmamas would die and they would leave the house paid for? You remember that? Now, they didn't have no $50,000 job. They didn't have no $100,000 job. How was Big Mama able to leave you a debt-free paid for a house? Now, I want to ask this generation, can you leave your kids a debt-free paid for a house? Because the generation is supposed to go higher. Every round goes from glory to glory, higher to higher. So if your mama, if Nana left you a paid for a house, what are you leaving your children outside of debt?
I say it all the time. At the end of the day, what are we leaving the next generation? Not just in church, but what are we leaving the next generation? What are we leaving our kids? What are we leaving our cousins, our nieces and nephews? Like I got my little boy, and I got my nieces and nephews. Hey, wash your hands. Using my bathroom. And it's like the reason why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, and you and I talk, there are things that I'm working on that I can't say publicly because you just can't say everything that you're doing publicly, even though you're excited about it. I'm working on making sure financially that when I can't do YouTube, Facebook, whatever other project, that one day that 60-year-old Demario can sit back and be like, I want to go take a trip. Or I can already have if God forbid this happen anytime soon, that if something happens to me and I'm not here anymore, my funeral cost is paid for. My cars are paid for. My house is taken care of. So that, like you said, like when Big Mama died, that I can leave my home, not this home, I can leave my home to my kids or somebody else who can be more responsible. That's what the Bible says. If we're going to go biblical, the Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance for the next generation and the generation after that.
Legacy.
How many times,
this is about
how many times are preachers preaching that? Leave a legacy. Not know, oh, I feel God. God's gonna listen. I understand God gonna bless you with some money. That's good. But when you get that money, how many people are storing up for next month, 2 months, next year? Because again, we have to store up. Because again, now this is what Big Mama did.
Come on now.
When money was coming in, she had them stowaways. You know, she put money in
under the mattress.
In the wall. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, Big Mama, I need my $10,000. What you need $10,000 for? I need to go get my car, or I need to go get Junior out. Well, baby, she'll tell you, well, we gonna pray. Big Mama will go upstairs, and God is so good. Oh, shit! You know, and then she with money. That's because she's stored up. And my grandmother, same way. Anytime I would ask her for something, my grandma, my auntie, they would have it. I'm like, where y'all get some money from?
Wait, do you see? They made less than we all make. And they had more than we all have. That's a whole word right there. That's a whole, they were able to feed more children.
You know why, Sabrina? They weren't buying Gucci, Fendi, Prada. Baby, they had a little dress. And they went on to church and they praised God. We take more time trying to impress people that don't even care nothing about us. And when we get through impressing people,
I want to say this. And listen, everybody under the sound of our voice. In every depression, every collapse of government, every collapse of financial institution, it births new millionaires. When the Great Depression hit, there were over hundreds of people that came out and emerged as new millionaires. When a market collapsed and all of those people lost their homes, there were people that came from overseas, purchased those homes that y'all lost because y'all went in there with the balloon loan. And in 7 years, the loan went to a place that you couldn't afford it. When you lost your house, a lot of the Arabs, a lot of the people from overseas bought it. They became instant millionaires. Now, here we are, almost 20 years now from that date, and the market is collapsing because of a global pandemic. So for those people, like Demario said, that did not store up, they did not plan, they did not prepare, they thought it was always going to be a mega church. They thought we were always going to have 20,000 people that loved us. They thought we were always going to be able to go into a building. You didn't prepare, and as a result, buildings are going to be lost, houses are lost, cars are lost. But listen, if you're listening under the sound of my voice, in the midst of all of that devastation, God is a restoration. In the midst of all of that dysfunction, God is bringing a renewal. There will be new millionaires emerging. I sat down and I told y'all the SBA is giving $150,000 to anybody with a 501c3 or anybody with an LLC. If you got an EIN and your credit, here we go, and your credit is over 550, the SBA will give you up to $150,000. Then I sat and I told you that there's a bank giving 100% on loans. You don't pay no money down on a $250,000 house, and you walk into it. That's almost $500,000 that's being disseminated in the midst of a pandemic. But how many of you are in a position that your credit score can qualify? Oh my God. How many of you can qualify for the $500,000 that's being released? Because if you can, you know what? When you buy that house and flip it, when you get that money and flip it, now you're going to emerge into the next millionaire. For those of you that want to qualify, I need you to put your number in my DM. We're going to qualify you tonight because my responsibility as a social justice activist, as a women's rights activist, is to share education, information, and inspiration. And I'll be damned if our people remain ignorant on my watch. If you want, now you can come with bankruptcy, but you don't have to leave with a bankruptcy. You can come with a foreclosure, but you don't have to leave with a foreclosure. I'm trying to tell you how to level up, and I'm trying to tell you how the white people been leveling up on us for years. Put your information in my DM, and let's get you going so you don't have to use Pookie's ID and social security number to get you into a house. Pookie ain't but 2 years old. Let Pookie mess up his own credit.
I got a question. So you just said I have a EIN number for my media company. How can I use that and make some money or whatever I need to do because I want to sound proper? How can I use that? Because I need some help.
Okay, so let's start there.
Let me tell you something, sister. I don't want to be out here shaking for it.
Listen. I thought about it. I was like, you kind of pretty. You might be able to get away with it. Jesus.
Listen.
You might be able to get away with it. Listen, for all y'all single parents, y'all know what I'm saying. I'm telling you, it's been times. Can I just be real? Can I be 100 with y'all? It's been times as a single mom. I've been divorced for a very long time, over 10 years. And it's been times as a single mom that I would have to think there are men propositioning me to give me $10,000 a month to date them. And I would have to sit there and think, well, God, it's not that bad if I date them. It really ain't that bad. Like $10,000, like what do I really got to do? As a single mom, I know if you're a single mom and you had to hustle for your kids, that you also thought about it. But let me tell you what I did. I made a vow to God. And I said, God, if you provide for me and you take care of me, I promise to communicate this message of the gospel and financial literacy to everybody that I come across. And I promise to help every mother, every single woman, every domestic violence victim that comes across my desk. I promise to set them straight so that they don't have to be dependent on a man. Okay, so that they don't have to need a man, so that they don't have to do the WAP, they can go to work. Oh my God, so that they don't have to WAP, but they can work. And God will give them everything that they have need of. So God did it for me. He put in a place that my house is debt free. Okay, I don't owe no mortgage on my house. God did it, and I want to show you the same God. Okay, the same God that did it for what Big Mama say. The same God that did it for me. He's able to do it for you. Okay? In my DM, so we can get you going on tonight. But Jives, to answer your question, do you have an LLC or is it a S corporation? What type of company is your EIN?
So I think it's a sole proprietor. I got to go back and look at it. It's sole proprietor.
Okay, sole proprietor. Okay, so you do have over a 550.
I believe so. I've been paying my ass.
I was gonna say, if you don't have it, you know you're gonna be in this program too, Jives.
Hallelujah!
I can't stand it.
All right, let me tell you something. Now, Sabrina, let me tell you something. Off subject.
We're gonna get you all the way together. If you don't have it, I want you to check after this video. I'm serious. Because we're gonna get you the money. After this video, I need you to check.
Okay, so I am. So this is off subject. I just want to tell people that even in this pandemic, that a lot of things I don't say publicly because I just don't want people in my personal or financial business. But while people are out here struggling, that's why it pays to just follow what the Spirit is telling you what to do and just be smart, especially in business. I can't tell people business-wise what I'm doing because I know people, you know what I'm saying, do just nigga stuff, you know. But I ain't hungry.
Yes.
Honey, my bills are paid. Honey, ain't nobody, like you said, somebody want to give you $10,000. Honey, ain't nobody laying. I wish let me just be quiet. Ain't nobody laying up with me. I pay my own bills, you know. You know, I may have to shake a little video every now and then, you know, I'm just playing, y'all. But no, like real talk, it's like my needs are met. So if I can take advantage of this information and go clear up my credit and go get some extra money to be able to do some productions and things of that nature, I want to do that because yes, I'm financially almost secure, but I want to be beyond secure. I want to do like the folks I see and just sit back on the yacht and just collect residuals and not even think twice about it. I feel that in the end of the day, that yes, the Bible says the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. But once we get the wealth, what are we going to do with the wealth?
That's
You know
good.
what I'm saying? Like it's
That's
not
good.
just enough black people to have money because what's going on right now is y'all see people on the internet and on TV and things throwing money and oh, I want to be like the oh child, God make me mean it so I can I want to have a big house. Okay, here's the question. You get money, now what? You have big
Now what?
houses, now what? You have cars, now what? Do you know what wealthy white people do?
You don't even know that they rich. They walking around bummy. They walking around in payless shoes.
But see, at the end
They
of the
walking
day,
around. Real talk.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
At the end of the day, like when you get money that come in, like let's just say, you know, I'm able to get $500,000 in a grant or loan from the government. There's some things that I want to do and some people that I need to contact so
Come
that
on.
I can put some things together so that I can pay back that $500,000 and I can have $3 million sitting in the bank because of what the move I just made. That's what I'm talking about.
That's
like,
how we're supposed to do it. Well, I'm right. I'm not trying to get a Gucci bag so you can see I'm fly. You see I'm fly. We don't need to do, we black people, we got to be past that. But I want to say this. Listen, do you know that the church is $1 trillion business? And I'm talking about the black church. I'm not even talking about our white counterparts. Okay. I'm not talking about our colleagues. I'm not talking about our brothers and sisters. I'm talking about black church, $1 trillion industry. And half of them will not survive this pandemic because of the way we misuse the money. The black church should have its own banks. The black church could have its own airport. The black church should have its own supermarket. The black church should have its own schools where we teach black history because we've been excommunicated out of the text. But because the black church is only interested oftentimes in showboating, now in this pandemic, we are with everybody else trying to figure out what to do next. Well, listen, black people, I don't know what your pastor is doing. I don't know what your bishop is doing, but I'm going to tell you how to get this money. And I'm going to tell you how to clear up your credit report. Make certain that you put your number in my DM. And I've been speaking to so many people. You know what my reward is? And I'm going to tell you that I do get paid well. But this is my reward. My reward is fulfilling my assignment and my commitment to God that when my sister was murdered because of domestic violence, when she tried to leave and didn't, because when I went through my own violence, Yes, on Thursday, we're going to talk about that. But I'm so serious and committed to helping our people move into freedom. And I'm going to tell you, I don't care how much you burn up the purple carpet. I don't care how many times you shout and how good your shout is. If you are not economically free, you are not free. Oh my God. Oh my God. Jesus. You are not debt free. You have not seen freedom, because once you pick up your pocketbook off that church carpet, you got to report to a 9 to 5. It's time for us to start thinking differently. The Bible says, as a man thinks, so is he. It all begins, the kingdom begins with the renewal and the transformation of our mind. We're talking about education, financial literacy, so that we can get to a place that our children and our children's children live in a land of the free and the brave.
So listen, guys, I don't want to hold Sabrina long because, you know, again, we have 2 more shows with Sabrina.
Thursday.
Sabrina's coming back Thursday for. Let me take this off the screen. Hold on 1 second. I have to comment. There we go. Sabrina's coming back Thursday for How to Get Away with Murder. We have so many stories. We have so many stories, guys, about domestic violence and things that have gone on. Her sister was killed. What domestic violence? Was he a pastor?
No, my sister was a normal person. She modeled. She lived in California. Well, she lived in New York, but her husband took her to California and murdered her in California, in Ontario, California. So when I got the news, I was in Atlanta. I was in college, and I just dropped on the floor and began to scream. And I remember going back to college and taking a test, and my whole paper was wet. But that was my favorite sister in the world. We looked just alike, and her husband murdered her. In front of her kids, while she was pregnant, he stabbed her multiple times. So we're going to talk about that, because the abuse is going on in the church. Right? A lot of times the pastors are not talking because they're going home and they're abusing their wives. That's why they're not talking about it, because they're going home. So when you see First Lady antisocial, a lot of times she's being abused. When First Lady can't do nothing, a lot of times because he's financially controlling her, he's physically controlling her, and he's spiritually controlling her. So we want you to get this information, because during this pandemic, domestic violence has increased over 50%. Listen, and it's in the church. You've seen on your social media pastors that have murdered their wives, and we're going to talk about it on Thursday.
So Thursday, guys, we also have I do have more stories and things that's coming up tomorrow. Oh, dang it, I didn't even put it up here. Shoot. Okay, well, let me see. So we're talking about domestic violence all this month. Tomorrow, Nicole and Deshandra are coming on. They are counselors, sex educating workers, just the whole 9 yards. They're coming on to talk about that and to help people at the same time. Thursday, we're going to be doing this with Sabrina, and we also have more people that are coming on board to talk about domestic violence, abuse. There are people here in Florida that I'm bringing on. There are people in Tennessee that I'm bringing on. Sabrina's going to be coming back on from Atlanta. And this is something that needs to be talked about. You know, we talk about money a lot. Let me just show you guys this. So this is tomorrow. Make sure you guys are here tomorrow. Touch your neighbor and say, tomorrow, please be in the room tomorrow. We're going to be talking about many forms of abuse. And this stuff is real. You know, there are so many people that I know that have been abused, misused. Sabrina is talking about her sister that was beat up and everything like that and killed because of her husband. You all, I'm telling you, today I was so rejoiceful because the lady who I did a story on, and she had been missing for 3 years, she finally went home. They found her, and she finally went home with her family today. I'm just thanking God because her husband, I would say he allegedly poisoned her. He beat her and put her in a nursing home, and then he divorced her, and she had been missing for 3 years. And when we did the story, and it's not me, but we did the story, and I prayed. I promise you, in 2 days they found her, and she just went home today. I'm rejoicing on that one right there.
Wow!
So
praise God.
Tomorrow we're talking about abuse with 2 counselors, and some other people can come on if they want to. Thursday, Sabrina is going to be with us again, talking about the abuse, talking about what happened with her sister, and we may have 2 other individuals to come on and tell their story. We won't. I promise you, we won't hold you long. And Friday, my sister Miko's in the comment, baby, this content ain't it, Miko. This is content. Friday, the 4 Kings will be back. Next Tuesday, touch your neighbor, say next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, guys, I need you all to be here again because we have an important show, and Sabrina and I, again, along with some other politicians and everything, we're going to be talking about what somebody just said something in the comments. Hold on 1 second. Okay, there we go. Again, we're going to be doing politicians and everything next Tuesday because we're talking about voting. Listen, I know this last election was garbage. I do get it. I understand. But listen, whatever you can do to make your voice be heard, please be on this live next Tuesday because we are going to be here, Sabrina and myself. We are going to be talking about voting, what you need to do, the importance of voting, the importance of mail-in ballots. We're going to be talking about women's rights, the power of your voice, the power of registering to vote. Listen, if you are able-bodied, you need to take your legs down there and vote. If you have seen
and bring somebody
the climate if you have seen the climate of this country thus far, they're having the debate tonight. If you have seen the climate of this country and you see with your eyes yourself 2020 vision, this is supposed to be the year of clarity, please make sure you get out and do something. Because if you don't do anything, you have no right to say anything at all. Period.
Yes. Period. Poop. Facts. Listen, your vote is your voice. You get the type of government that you vote for. Okay. And America would not spend billions of dollars to reach the Black community if your vote was not valid. Okay. Follow the paper trail. They're doing everything that they can in their power because our vote is going to break or it's going to determine who will be the next president. The Black vote, listen to what I'm telling you, is going to determine who's going to be. It's the tiebreaker. It determines which way the election will be swayed. So I can't wait to talk about it. Did you know that October was Domestic Violence Awareness Month? And we're approaching that. So what you're doing is right in alignment with what the nation is doing. Yes. Yes. So join us on next Thursday. It's going to be a lot of education so that you can get out of the abusive situation. You don't have to stay there. It can be generational, but it can be broken.
I want to say this too. Do you all not realize that on the King Jives show, and I did this very strategically. Not only am I using this title, but this woman right here has worked with Viola Davis on a show, a past show, and with what she's doing. And so it's a full circle of things that have been done, and we're reaching people from all barriers. You hear what I'm trying to tell you? And it's not just by happen chance that I chose that title, because I was thinking, like, what should I use? And the first thing I thought about was Sabrina. And I was like, this is what's going on, not only in the world, but the church. These women and men and children are being killed And there are preachers, male or female, that are molesting and raping people and killing their spouses, and they're getting away with it. This man that just did this stuff to his wife was about to get away with murder. He is a military person and he's an insurance agent. Baby, he was going to get away with murder.
$1 million. Right. And be in a whole other country.
But so, guys, I need you guys, listen, for real. Make sure you are here tomorrow for Many Forms of Abuse with Nicole and Deshandra. Make sure you guys come back on Thursday for How to Get Away with Murder with Sabrina and myself. And also on Friday, we will be back with the Four Kings, baby. This Friday is going to be a read like no other. And next Tuesday, we will be back with Sabrina again for talking about voting. Listen, I love my sister. I'm not going to hold her long. Listen, y'all ain't hit that Cash App. Y'all ain't hit that PayPal or Zelle. Listen, the woman of God is worthy of her time. Oh my God. Listen, for real. Y'all show her love, show her support and everything like that. If you guys seriously need help with your credit, now she ain't finna sit out here and do no crazy stuff. She ain't trying to get your personal identification. She's trying to give you information that can help you. Please inbox her, guys. I put her stuff up there. Inbox her, and she's going to be able to help you. Guys, we just sat here, and we're giving information away for what? The free. Okay, I'm saying that one more time. We are giving information just for the record. We are giving information away for the free. Okay? So listen, I need you all to please take heed to the information that we just gave you all tonight. I love you guys. I appreciate you all so much. Until tomorrow. Sabrina, you got something you want to tell the people before we get off?
Make certain that you hit me up in my inbox so that I can help you. Love you guys.
All right, love you guys, and we'll talk to you guys later, okay? All right, Sharon.
Bye. Love you, Z.